Let's talk about the value of having a non-expert at the table during your discussions. In most of my examples, I'm going to be that non-expert. I've led projects for a long time. I guess we're coming on more than 15 years at this point. And I'm not trained as a designer. I am not trained as an artist. In fact, I basically have wooden eyes. I'm not trained in audio or music. I took music in high school. I played the trumpet, which really meant that I let the person with the actual formal trumpet training play a lot louder than me and just sort of coasted my way through the class. But I've been at a lot of tables where these are things that are being discussed. Design is being discussed in a room that contains mostly designers, or art direction is being discussed amongst a lot of artists. I am trained as a programmer. It's useful to have a non-expert in the room for some of those architectural conversations as well. Why is this? It's because disciplines can become quite inward-looking. It's very common for a design discussion to start to eat its own tail, to start to design a system that is more and more complicated, more and more baroque, because the designers are falling in love with the mathematical conversation that they're having between each other. So what you want is someone in the room who can basically raise their hand and go, but I don't understand. Or how would you ever show this to the player? Similarly with art, a group of artists can fall into the filigree or fall into discussions around minor bits of white space in ways that are obvious to them, but may not come across to the layman. And if it doesn't come across to the layman, it's not super useful in your game, because most of the people who play your game aren't people who have done art for a living for a long period of time. So the very subtle things may not be coming across. And that can be okay, but if you are trying to make your point entirely out of subtle things, that point may get lost. Arguably, over half of my career has been being the novice at the table, being the external voice at the table. And as a result, over time, largely organically, I've picked up some habits that allow me to be more successful at that, allowed me to provide my feedback even on topics I don't really know very much about. If you are that person, one of the tricks is to be as deliberate as you can when you are giving feedback. Try to think about why you don't like something and try to express it as well as you can. You likely don't have the correct language, but if you can get closer than "I don't like that," then it's more likely that the experts in the room are going to be able to pick up on what you're saying and guide you towards the real answer. If you can say, "I don't like this image, it makes me feel uneasy," that's better than "I don't like this. I don't like this image, it feels too aggressive." That's better than "I don't like this image. I don't understand this design" is okay. "There's just a lot of numbers flying at me all at once" is better. How would we express this to the player? What would the UI look like? Better still. Because to be honest, designers often forget about user interfaces when they get into these scrums of design. One thing to be careful about, if you're this external voice, one thing to really guard against is to not fall into the trap of feeling that you need to provide as much feedback as the other people at the table. You aren't equipped to do that. It can be uncomfortable to sit in silence while everyone else is bouncing back and forth, talking about different ideas, talking about color theory, talking about things you barely understand, and meanwhile you're just sitting there looking at the image and not really following what they're talking about. If you are shown something and you like it, say that. Say that you like it. Say that it feels good. Like with constructive feedback, provide detail about what you like about it as much as you can, but be willing to be the quietest person in the room, because your purpose isn't to be involved in the discussion so much as to be someone injecting external ideas to ensure that the conversation doesn't descend too deeply into groupthink. If you feel the need to provide feedback all the time, you're going to end up giving feedback that you may not even completely believe in. You may feel the need to inject yourself into conversations that you barely understand in order to feel useful. This is the classic exec problem. This is what results in what I've called leaving a plug cover off in the past, which is the team starts to dread your involvement because you end up injecting changes and opinions that are based on nothing, that aren't even your real opinion, because you become addicted to being involved in the conversation, injecting your feedback even when it's unwarranted. So it's good to have that external voice, but that external voice needs to know that they shouldn't be doing most of the talking in the room. One thing you should be doing to take this even further is having these cross-departmental moments where design and art grind their systems up against each other and something comes out of that process. They're not necessarily going to be able to talk each other's languages, though if you can find a designer who speaks art, or an artist who speaks designer, or a programmer who speaks either art or design, those are unicorns that you should try your best to keep hold of. But even the act of mashing them together is going to usually result in some interesting things coming out the other side. If you have a non-expert at the table, what you need to remember is they aren't well equipped to deliver feedback on your topic. If you have a non-artist sitting at the table, they may not know about color theory. They've never heard of the Baroque period or the Northern Renaissance. So someone with that expertise needs to hold the responsibility of drawing that feedback out of this person. They can say, I don't really like this, or I don't understand this, but you are probably going to have to take that piece of very broad feedback and help them pick it apart and figure out what they actually don't like, what the actual problem is. I'm super duper sensitive to symmetry in images. So an image that is very off-center isn't a problem. An image that is perfectly symmetrical isn't a problem, but an image that is slightly off-center really grates at me because it feels like a mistake. And in fact, this has influenced a lot of my thoughts around game design and about project management and a lot of other things, that it's useful to have an intentionality around things that are not the most obvious thing. If you're going to be in the center, be in the center. Don't be almost in the center. If you're going to be off to the side, be far enough off to the side for it to be obvious that that's what you're trying to do. But it took me a long time to figure out that this was the thing I was reacting to in a lot of images around UI, around screenshots. And it's helpful to have someone who understands the theory of what's going on to tease that out of you. Additionally, on occasion, a fashion within a discipline doesn't match what the layperson likes. A good example of this is brutalism in architecture. There are architects who love brutalism, who love this expression of the form. There aren't very many lay people who like brutalism as an architectural form. When you are making a piece of art that is commercial art, that is designed for consumption by a large group of people, it's designed to be successful to a large group of people, having someone in the room who can basically say that the emperor has no clothes can be very useful. And it can be super annoying to have someone who doesn't really know what they're talking about say they don't like that. But remember, most of the people who are going to play your game are like that person. They're not experts in your craft, and their opinion in some ways matters even more than the opinions of people who are experts. You know how to make something properly. You know the theory behind the way things work. You know the way that people interact with things. You know how design psychology works. You know how the interplay of art works. You know how minor chords differ from major chords. But at the end of the day, if the average player interacts with the thing you create and they can't understand it, or it just causes them to have a negative knee-jerk initial reaction to it, ultimately that's going to fail as a piece of art or a piece of design. Now, this isn't an always thing. You don't probably want a layperson at the table in the early stages when there's nothing that they can see and understand. People who don't understand your craft are going to be people that are going to have a lot of difficulty wearing dev goggles on the particular thing you're working on. That can be trained. I certainly could look at half-finished art a lot better in 2021 than I could in 2009, but it is something to keep in mind. There's a point at which lay people can provide useful feedback, can react to it as the game-buying public will, and there's a point at which that feedback is going to be a lot more difficult to give. Unfortunately, this means that sometimes you're going to have to push things further along before realizing, oh no, we've designed a combat system that can only be enjoyed by people who love Excel, but that's the reality of the situation. Sometimes that is only going to be revealed when the thing is more than 50% done. And that's unfortunate. And of course, as you gain experience in your craft, if you are open to it, you can also start to understand that layperson's perspective as well. So you won't even design the overly Baroque system, or you won't build that brutalist cathedral in the middle of your fantasy game, because you can predict what the layperson reaction will be. But even then, even as you get experience, even as you start to be able to understand the way that people probably will react to what you're making, it's useful to have that layperson. Tastes change, the community evolves, players look for new things, they expect new things. And what you learned was an unacceptable feature 10, 15 years ago might be very much in fashion now. And what used to be commonplace maybe fallen out of favor. When I first started playing games, the expectation was you drew your own map. A lot of extra work was put on the shoulders of the players. Now the expectation is that games are going to do a lot more for you than they used to do. But we're starting to see a pushback to that as well. We're starting to see a pushback to overuse of yellow paint guiding you through the level. We're starting to see a pushback on Ubisoft putting too much HUD on the level and overcomplicating what people are looking at. So tastes change. You are an expert in your craft. You know how to do things. You know how to do things well. But it's worthwhile having, at different points in your process, external voices who are outside your craft come in and give an opinion from a perspective that is closer to people who are going to play your game. A special thanks to my members. They provide the resources that this channel needs to keep running. If you are interested in becoming a member, there's a link to that down in the description. We also have a Patreon if you are more comfortable supporting the channel in that way. Both patrons and channel members get early access to videos, and we started doing weekly stand-ups talking about the work I'm doing for video game development and also what I'm doing in each individual week. Those are only going to be accessible to members. So if you're interested in either early access or seeing those weekly stand-ups, think about becoming a member. We also have merch. It's still winter, so I'm still wearing the High Tea on the High Seas hoodie, though it's probably time to update my wardrobe a little bit. There will be a link to that down in the description as well. Arguably more than 50% of my career has been me being the idiot at the table, or the novice at the table, or the layman at the table. And so I have picked up some strategies to doing it. So I'm pretty comfortable being in the room with people who know their job a lot better than I do. Have you had this experience? Have you been that person? Let's talk about it down in the comments. I will see you again soon. Thank you.